Like, this was you playing tank right there. Yeah, they're pushing you there. I'm just kind of... Oh, we're down 3. Let's use my ultimate. Let's go.
All right, so today's video, we are watching a Gold 5 Sigma Zarya D.Va. So we get to see a bit of hero variety here. All 3 viable heroes this season. I think out of the 3, D.Va's probably going to be the best so far. They've been hearing that carrying is much harder now on tank, which, yes, to an extent. I think it's more along the lines of you still have the same capabilities you did last season, but now DPS have way more value than they did from last season, which means that that carry potential can be shut down if the DPS is popping off, which obviously with a lot of the changes, DPS players are popping off. And they're looking for help with how they can be proactive and help compensate for their gold teammates. All right, we'll see how it goes.
Barrier initialized.
Yep, Brock. You're backing up already. You don't have to overcommit to this. Isn't that amazing, that whole sequence right there? The Mauga gets pulled back, and the first reaction by the Mauga is to just charge in immediately with one of their cooldowns for absolutely 0 reason. Careful here, by the way. You have plenty of line of sight. You don't have to take all the poke damage. You can back away. You can back away. You don't have to stay here. The reason why a lot of players will play back here is because you have a lot of cover, and the only angle you have to worry about is top left unless they go for a flank play, but I don't see that happening. Yep, Brock. Okay, so you don't want to... Don't feel obligated to just push up to that statue when you have to. Okay, so first step right there. If you want to help your DPS, you use Eat on your Bastion. The Eat cooldown is not just for you. It can also be for your teammates. Your Bastion could have used the help there. Your Bastion could have shredded the other team. All you need to do is hit your Shift, which will be your Eat ability, which will absorb damage for your teammate. And then on top of that, it will also give you Overshield. That's how you build Overshield. So right there, that's a lack of cooldown usage by you. You need to use that. All right, there's your Bastion. Don't have to use it yet. Now be careful. You know they're at the angle. Help your team. Rock time. Yep, rock. That's what we like to see right there. Nice rock. Good job. Twig, thank you for the tier 1. Thank you, appreciate it. You can go for the random rock here on the Moira if you want. You can send him out of there. Have they changed the Widow bullet size? Yes. And pretty much every hero got like that. A couple heroes didn't, but like, yes, you have a much larger headshot hitbox. They actually just nerfed it, but it's still pretty good. You're right, by the way, to have your team group up back there. That is correct. If your teammates are deciding to play aggro, this is on your team. I see what you're trying to do there, but hey, you commit to it. Remember what one thing I always say with this stuff, especially when you have teammates who want to play at a different pace than the way that you want to play, I always just end up, if I have 4 aggressive teammates and I'm playing a little bit more kind of in between that or passive, I'm going to go play aggressive with my team. If I have 4 passive teammates, I'm going to go play a little bit more passive because it can lead to more victories because then you have everybody on the same page.
Gather here.
Your shield. Your shield. Your shield doesn't need to be there anymore. You just leave. Okay, perfect. All right.
You're like, hey, you know, how do I deal with DPS being able to pop off now, etc. Your DPS and their DPS had 0 to do with what you just did. Like, this was you playing tank right there. Anybody want to group up? Back here. Yeah, they're pushing you there. I'm just kind of... It's all in the DPS. Oh, we're down 3. Let's use my ultimate. Let's go. We're going to get this. That was your tank play style. This is what I mean. I love how we go from saying, I love that you just played aggressive with your teammates, to... I'm going to stand on point and do absolutely nothing. Play at the pace of your teammates if all 4 are playing aggressive. Obviously, if you're in a game where some people are playing aggressive, some people are playing passive, that's different. Your team is committed to playing aggro. You are now with your team. Don't stand around on point and then hope that your DPS are going to pop off, because what are you doing to help your teammates at that point? Nothing. Be up there with your team, help them, and that ultimate you just wasted can be used to win a team fight rather than waste a team fight.
All right, on to Zarya. This is an interesting hero swap. I'm going to ask you one question on this. Are you switching Zarya because they have a D.Va? I want you to look at what map you're on, and I want you to look at the map you're on. Are you going Zarya because they have a D.Va? Because if so, I would not call that the play here. I'm serious. This is a long distance map. Zarya could struggle here. I won't say will. I'll say could because you can still find that value. Because if I say that Zarya would struggle here, then somebody's gonna be like, I play Zarya all the time, and I'll show you a win I got on Blizzard World from 4 days ago. And I'll be like, okay, you're right. So I'm gonna go with could struggle here. Okay, no bubbles. Overuse your bubbles. Wonderful. There you go. So you managed to go Zarya to try to counter their D.Va. Right? But then, like, you're not thinking about the whole aspect of the game outside of I'm going to go Zarya to shred this D.Va. And that's it. And hey, you got your ult charge, right? Great. Wonderful. Wonderful. Now you have 0 bubbles for 10 seconds. Let's see how this goes. Do not run into them. Hide right here. It's okay to hide right there and be patient for a second. Okay, now you can be in again. You have a time in here for about 4 more seconds, maybe less, to use your grab. If you don't, they're going to get their suit back. So I'd grab. Wow, that got 3 people. I'm actually impressed that got 3 when you miss by that much. Okay, wonderful. Okay, you've overused your bubbles again. Now you're aggressive. Now you're going to get nanoed. Running away. Actually, not a bad disengage. All right, use one of your... Oh, we don't have any bubbles here. Go in. So far, you're playing Zarya to counter the D.Va, but the D.Va doesn't seem too worried about you, right? I wanna pause for 1 second here because somebody in the chat says they're bubbling for charge and not space, which I get what you're saying, but it's okay to get a couple bubble rotations in for energy and then play based, like, create that space, right? It's okay to, like, do, like, 1 or 2 bubble rotations early on, especially when nothing's happening, to get to that 50, 60, 70 energy range, and then go into a smart rotation of your bubbles, because at least 1 bubble will kind of keep you in that range. But yeah, I mean, the problem is you literally went Zarya to try to counter D.Va, which is now giving their snipers a little bit more value in space, and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. So... Yes, Zarya, you can use 2 bubbles as Zarya. I always say make it feel like you have 3 bubbles as Zarya, which means that if you can time your cooldowns correctly, it will feel like you have 3 bubbles to the other team. If you're misusing your bubbles, you'll see a 10-second cooldown rotation, and you'll be just sitting there waiting. And keep in mind, if someone's gonna go, why you're shooting the D.Va, it's okay to shoot the D.Va here. If this Zarya tries to run to their backline, they're gonna fall over. That's on your cast. I want to point something out here. If somebody on their team... Wow, you really have some ambitious grabs, I must say. As in, like, they're not near anybody, but they certainly get people. And honestly, if I play Zarya today, I'm going to shoot those grabs, and if I miss, chat, we know who to blame. I'm blaming Zarya right now. All right. But yeah, by the way, when someone bubbles, one thing you can do, if their Genji is going for one of your teammates specifically, I would recommend, like, don't be so hard focused on trying to find the Genji right away. Find their target, bubble your target, then you're going to win that. You let your Ana die during that, and obviously, like, I think your team is going to win this team fight. But, like, overall, like, saving your teammate can be huge. Now, keep in mind, by the way, chat, just to go back to this. Remember how I said second point, I didn't like the Zarya pick? Third point, much better, right? Because this is one of the few points where it will play into Zarya. But second point, I would not recommend that Zarya swap. First point, I'm not the biggest fan of Zarya, but I'm going to let this go at the pace of your teammates. I only say this again because of the long sight lines. To give you an idea, by the way, sight lines are like this. See that whole area and that whole area? You see how you have these multiple sight lines? This is also why you play back, because the other team has the cover. See? When you look at those sight lines right there, that is where Zarya will struggle. This is why heroes like Sigma benefit. This is why heroes like, you know, Wrecking Ball, D.Va, Winston all benefit, because you can deal with these high grounds and the sight lines way easier. Here we go. We're watching still. Not bad. Team started off good here. Didn't have to worry about sight lines, which is nice. There you go. And Zarya did just recently get buffed too, so I think this is a buff Zarya VOD. I think it is. What's your play here? What do you want to do? I don't mind that bubble. Wait a second. Farm it. This is where I would recommend farming a little bit of that energy. Because if they overcommit to get you, then you're going to be in a good spot. Wait in the bubble. You have timings. Okay, perfect. Now, the next time they go for you, they're going to think you don't have a bubble, but you have another bubble. That's kind of like that 3-bubble rotation I was talking about. Keep in mind, second point, you will struggle a little bit. Or you could struggle a little bit, excuse me. Good energy here. Back away from this. Back away from this. You have no bubbles. You're gonna fall over. This is not. That's gonna be. Yeah. Okay. Listen. If they Kitsune, run away. If everybody disengage a Kitsune, you can win. If you run into the middle of the Kitsune and then also spam your bubbles, you will fall over. You built your energy. Fall back. Keep that energy.
This ends now.
Nice pick. A little bit of a side note, by the way, for anybody playing Zarya and you're worried about getting your grav deflected, stare into a wall, grab the wall, it won't be deflected, and more than likely will pull them in if they're close to you. That is a play you can do with Zarya against that. Is it wrong you should always shoot your grabs directly at a Genji? You're also a Genji main? Great advice. Yeah, definitely do that. You really like your emote button? That's always nice. A good thing we have the Genji main in chat, letting everybody know. I was concerned. Nice right click. Also, this is how you're gonna play Zarya in this map, by the way. This is like, if you're asking me if this is optimal Zarya gameplay on second point Blizzard World, I would take this. I'm actually okay with you doing this. Yes, you can go a little bit of high ground, but like, what are you gonna do? Sit there and wave at him? Uh-oh. Wow. That was wonderful. By the way, one thing about Zarya, and I need to pause right now. When you have grav, if you run at them in a straight line, they're gonna know that you have grav. Although you could use that to your advantage sometimes. You can run at them like when you don't have grav, and they might overreact to it. Sometimes you can force out Deflect or Zeno, but do not run at them in a straight line. Ever seen that Reaper who decides they want to shift into your team from a mile away, and they're basically just waving hello to your team? That's what you looked like right there. In some ranks, the tracking of ultimates isn't going to be as good also. So one of the easiest ways as a telegraphing is exactly what you just did. D.Va swap's okay here. I want to give you one thing about D.Va here. Keep high ground. Do not face tank Ramattra unless it's a target call that your teammates are on them and you're DMing the heals. Go. I'm ready to see this. I'm excited. This is fine. This is fine. Eat the orb. You can eat healing orbs. Okay, now you're done with Ramattra for 2 more seconds, and yeah, I was gonna say you could maybe commit to the Ramattra because you have that, but I'm okay with this too. Either or is fine there. You remember you have Kitsune, so they stay in there, you're more than likely gonna be able to shred them, but I'm okay with you also playing that a little bit safer. One thing that I want to kind of give you a little bit of advice on D.Va. If you get somebody really low, but you know you can't finish the limb, sometimes the best thing you can do is just right-click them and DM heals, or go somewhere else to kind of spread the damage across and like make the heals kind of go all over the place, and then you can still win. I'll turn it on after this. Actually, for the YouTube stream. We have a tournament today. Yes, D.Va can eat healing orbs and damage orbs. Yes. You can take away like half of Moira's value by just eating that. It's okay to stay in the Genji here. I'm okay with this. Nice job. Okay, next step. Zenyatta is your target. Zenyatta is your target. Even if they have Zenel, you get Zenel'd out. Sometimes people get afraid to go after a target because they know they have an ultimate. But like, you have 2 options. Make them use their ult, or get the limb. Both are good options for your team. And you're a main support, you've never seen a D.Va eat it? Yeah, I mean, I eat the orbs all the time. Like, I constantly eat Moira orbs. If you're playing D.Va and you're against a Moira, eat the orb. It takes away so much value. And sometimes people are like, well, what if it goes by you? Yeah, but like, how many times have you seen a Moira orb go flying behind your team? Right? Like, have you seen the trajectory of Moira orbs sometimes? Where, like, Moira orbs, like, woo, all over the place like that? What did I just create? Look at this masterpiece I just made, Jack. I just created that. I'm so good at this. That was impressive. Good job using the... Oh, you really like your emote button, don't you? You are... If you make a good play, you let the other team know. In front of the window, in front of the window. Oh, uh-oh. Okay. If your team has a window, your BAP will thank you if you go in front of the window because BAP heals are even more through a window. Go here to get healed up. Don't make them have to turn away from their window. Your team can win fights. You just go in front of the window to get healed because they're going to overcommit to you. I just need to point that out. Okay. You can fly over top right, find out where the Zenyatta is, flank the Zenyatta, get out again if you need to. Don't face tank the Ramatra. Keep letting the orb survive too, by the way. Stop letting the orb survive. Okay, you found Zenyatta, you can't do that play because they're playing frontline. You don't have their ult, you know this. Good ping. Be careful, you're face tanking too much. Nice shot backing away. DM your teammates. Remember, there's a team behind you. Okay. Adds to the balance of D.Va. You can still DM and help your team. Watch out. It's working. Good job eating that. Yep. At this point. Oh no! You spend too much time trying to kill a Torb turret. Ugh. I've done that before too. That's a tough one. I mean, honestly, like, you spend so much time trying to, like, damage that turret. Think about the cover you have, okay? Just tap the wall for a second. Go to the left. Tap that again. Look at your ult charge. Look at the ultimate that can win right there. That ultimate will win you the game. Straight up. You're at 96% and you spend the whole time killing the Torb turret. You would ask, like, okay, how do you compensate for your gold teammates? A lot of the time, it came down to your play style. You just either played way too passive, you didn't want to play at the same pace of your team, your decision-making in between team fights just wasn't as ideal. You weren't doing things like eating the Moira orb. That's a make or break for that Moira. I need you to focus more on playing at the pace of your teammates, understanding target priority. In this type of comp, your target would have been either the Torb or the Zen. A lot of the times, you would pick the Zen, and you would either overcommit or you wouldn't let the team fight play out. This did not come down to your DPS getting rolled. I think it was a pretty even matchup there. I think in the end, it was very small decision makings. Remember, look at the time on the clock right now. Remember when you just gave up first point defense because you just stood on point? Things like that all add up, and that's how you result in those losses. You fix those, you'll be in a good spot. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. Subscribe to all 3 channels. We have everyday uploads there. Great videos. Make sure to watch them if you haven't. If you want to submit your own Spectating, look in the description below. You'll see my Discord. That is where you would submit there. We record these live on stream. If you look below the webcam, you can see the Twitch chat. We have a lot of fun here. Stop by if you haven't. And with that being said, hope you all have an amazing day/night.